porcelain white. Oh, I leave the kitchen by the back. My papa wonders where I'm at. Don't know it's you I'm calling tonight. Just taking one step at a time. Starting to tremble, can't read through your lines. So taking one step at a time. No, I remember that look in your eyes. Wish I could tell them why. You're the first who's understood me at my worst. The only one who's more than a friend. Oh, still everything's so new to us. Our secrets swept beneath the rug. Someday we'll all stop playing pretend. Just taking one step at a time. Starting to tremble, can't read through your lines. So taking one step at a time. No, I remember that look in your eyes. Wish I could tell them why. How do you know it's real without knowing the way I feel? How do you know it's real without knowing the way I feel? Just taking one step at a time. Starting to tremble, can't read through your lines. So taking one step at a time. Just take I remember that look in your eyes. Wish I could tell you why. Just take one step. Just take one step. Can't read through your lines. Through your lines. One step at a time. Just taking one step at a time. Starting to tremble, can't read through your lines. So taking one step at a time. No, I remember that look in your eyes. Wish I could tell them why. They try to keep their heads so high above. Said I was way too young to know about love. When I can't clear my plate again, my mama thinks I'm growing thin. She scolds I'm turning porcelain white. Oh, I leave the kitchen by the back. My papa wonders where I'm at. Don't know it's you I'm calling tonight. Just taking one step at a time. Starting to tremble, can't read through your lines. So taking one step at a time. No, I remember that look in your eyes. Wish I could tell them why. You're the first who's understood me at my worst. The only one.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? Nice to see all of you again. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm just going to pop over into the chat on YouTube. It's Claire, or dolltr, or however. But yeah, we're back again for another week of 343 TV. Thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in. I'm going to head over into the chat and see who's here. Hey, hello, everyone. Hello to Chroma Beats, Roller 8. Hello also to, oh, y'all are super early. Hello also to TWD Industries. Ooh, nice. I hope you have a good burrito. They were just talking about how they were making a burrito. Hello also to Thomas from 343 Labs, who's helping us manage the chat. Yay! And greetings also to Lai Society. Good afternoon to you. Hello, Nikunj. Hello, Angelina. Hey, Max. Yay. Max is our co-founder at 343 Labs, everyone. So say hi to Max in the chat. He's in Berlin time now. But yeah, if any, on the note of Berlin and places, if you want to just drop into the chat where you're tuning in from, that'll be awesome. And we can say hi to a couple of people. I'm tuning in from Queens, New York. Well, not really tuning in since I'm hosting this, but I am tuned in a way. And I like how the word tuned in is actually a thing because, you know, it's related to music, which is what we're doing. So yay. Who else is here? Hello to Latino Sofrito. Ooh, yay, great. I'm looking forward to 343 TV too. Nacho, hi, hello. Alfred, who else is here? Let's see. Alfred, and let's see. Oh, goodness, lost in the chat. Scrolling so much. Okay. Oh, TWD Industries had a question. Is One Step the usual on repeat warm-up song? Not usually. So every time I do a stream, I try to switch it up a little bit. So I think in previous sessions, it was another one that I did of another original of mine called Paper Thin. And then the week before that, it was Sister Sister. But this one's called One Step. And I put it as the preview song for a reason, which I'll go into a little bit later today. That's it. Yes, thanks, Max. Courtesy of dolltr. Yes. Hello also to Liso. Yes, they are my vocals. I sing and I produce and I basically make everything myself, which is what I'm going to talk about today. So we're kind of like on the right topic, which is great. Leo, hello, greetings to you too. Matt and M, hello. And who else is here? Oh, yay, cool. Got a bunch of people from Manhattan, yay, Florida. Paul is from Dallas. Matt's also from Texas, amazing. Yay, cool. A bunch of people from Texas. Very cool. Yay. Corona, yeah, Queens. Nice. Very cool. Thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in again. Yeah, totally. Lai Society is right. Berlin is a nice place to be for techno, or more like tech yes. Bad puns, courtesy of Claire. Anyway, what I wanted to do today, everyone, is take you through a couple of other tips and tricks, and maybe something that's, like I said, related to the song that you just heard, which was a preview when I was like putting up the waiting screen. That was a song called One Step that I wrote and that I produced specifically as part of a project that I did in Queens last year that was called Colors of Us. And it was a collaborative project with young women of Asian descent in Queens making electronic music. I'm a big fan of representation and a strong believer in the power of it, as well as visibility. So it was important for me to work with them on this. And I got a grant from the Queens Council of the Arts that helped me out. So thank you to anyone from Queens Council on the Arts who may be watching at this point or maybe in the future. But yeah, and I think it was a project that changed my life, but also was a really great opportunity for me to share with a lot of girls and young women about what it means to make a song and what it means to produce the stuff that we hear on the radio and want to even, you know, have a go at electronic music. So what I'm going to do today is a little bit from my usual a little bit different from the usual that I do in session view and live. Again, the DAW of choice that I'm using for this series is Ableton Live. Ableton is the company, Live is the software. And I usually work in session view for a lot of my idea experimentation in Live. But today I'm going to look at arrangement view and take you through what it means for me to use arrangement view when I'm writing a linear song. So that means from start to finish instead of, you know, playing with different types of ideas, which is very fitting also because today our giveaway is a $200 Ableton voucher. So if you do want to enter the giveaway, please tell us that you want to enter the giveaway. Please let us know. But that said, I think Thomas from 343 Labs may also type in some information about our giveaway. So yeah, give some love to Thomas and maybe he'll give some love to you back by sharing with you how you can enter the giveaway. But that said, today we're looking at arrangement view in Live, which is, like I said, the linear timeline. I try to think of arrangement view as going across, so like left to right. So therefore, that's a good way to remember like whether it's like which view is which. A, arrangement, A, going across. But yeah, if you want to enter the giveaway, let Thomas know. And there's we have a special procedure that you can follow if you want to enter our giveaway. But I'm excited. I love the folks at Ableton, and it's a pleasure to really be talking about their products like Push over here is also something that I'm going to use. If you've watched my previous streams, you'll know that my nickname is I guess, Push Lady or Push Woman. Maybe that would be my superhero name if I had one. Or someone once told me it's Controller Lady or something. But yeah, I feel like that's appropriate. Push is something that I'm a big fan of just because I love using it when I'm producing and thinking of ideas so that I can, play different kinds of notes. It's really good also for session view because when you put it into session mode on Push, you will be able to mirror session view. That's it. Like I mentioned, we're not really looking at session view today, but we are looking at arrangement. So what I like to take you through is maybe a little bit of my process as to what I think about when I'm composing linearly. And people often ask about this just because it's like, how do you get started writing a song? Like if you know that you want to write a song. And I think that's already something to begin with, right? You have that intention, and it's different from say, okay, I'm going to go into session view and just mess around with ideas. No, it's very different. We're writing a song. We want it to be a song and not just a random like beat or a bunch of ideas, which is a very different type of thing. So I'm going to take you through what I usually do when I'm writing a song that I know wants to take on a certain form. The first thing I do is really add locators. So locators in Live are basically like markers, and what they'll let you do is mark out different sections of time in Live. One thing that's really cool about the way Live is organized is that even you'll notice over here, you'll see that some of these boxes are shaded. I mean, some of these grid like parts, these little columns that we see, they're shaded different colors. And that's because every 16 bars, you're going to get a different shade. So for example, this is like a little bit of a darker shade. And then we got a lighter shade over here. You can kind of see this column is a lighter shade. And then we got a darker shade, lighter shade, all there. Why is this important? Why is the number 16 important? It's because in a lot of pop tunes, specifically pop songs, we tend to think of groups of bars in 4, 8, or 16 and derivatives of these and multiples of these. So for example, you could have a section that's 32 bars long. You'd be less likely to have a section that's like 25 bars long, but maybe 24 bars because 24 is a multiple of 8, like I mentioned. So just something to consider. And to that end, let's see if we can go about creating different sections for ourselves. So what I'm going to do is start setting locators. I can do this by on the top right-hand corner of this track view over here, right on top of the word monitor. I know that you can't really see my cursor because of the current streaming software that I'm using, but on top of the word monitor, which is in white on the right-hand side, there's a word called set, and it's a little tiny word. Pressing this word, set, or clicking on it with your computer trackpad or your mouse is going to add what we call a locator. And now you can see me kind of move the locator around. All I'm doing is clicking and dragging on it, on the little flag, but I'm going to put this locator all the way to the front because I like to start off with an intro. And I can rename this locator also by pressing Command R if I'm on a Mac or Control R on a PC. And let's call this intro. And generally intros are pretty short. So maybe that's something that we can keep in mind as we move forward. Maybe we might even, make it start a little bit later. But for now, we'll just keep that over there. And then maybe after 8 bars, I want some kind of verse. That might be cool to have verse. So let's call it verse 1. And then after that, we'll do pre-chorus, maybe. We'll also go a bit into detail about what these different sections are as we move along. But usually after the pre-chorus, you'll lead up to a section that's called the chorus. Again, all of these section names that I'm talking about are very common terms that we use to describe various parts of a linear arrangement in a song. Usually after choruses in a lot of electronic-based music, you might have something that's called a post-chorus. So I'm just going to put that there for now. We'll talk about this more later. And then maybe after this, we'll have perhaps verse 2. And we'll start to be a little bit more flexible with this as we go along, and I'll show you exactly how to do that with different sections and playing with time in Live. So that's a little bit of a hint in case anyone knows what I'm talking about when I say moving time around in Live. But I'm just going to do this. It's a little bit it does take a bit of time. Usually when I work on these types of songs, I have a template, but I just wanted to take you through all of this. So usually after, the second time you have a chorus, it might mark the turning point in a song. So then we think of a song as having a bridge. And this is exactly how the song that I just played you, One Step, which you heard in the waiting time of this video, was structured. This is pretty much a very standard song structure. I'm also going to adjust my mic. Give me 1 second, everyone, just to make sure it's okay and not falling like, boo, I'll get whacked in the face. But no, chorus 3 after the bridge. And let's put another marker over here for the post-chorus 3. And also, oops, if I can spell correctly, goodness. 3. Great. And then we have our outro. So right now everything's kind of in 8 bars, and as you can see, things may or may not be long, depending on what the tempo of the song is. So on that note, before I continue my spiel, I'm going to head back over into the chat and ask everyone if you want to let me know of any number between... Actually, no, let's do any number between 20 to 999. Those are Live's limits on tempo. So if you can give me a number between 20 and 999, and I'll take some derivatives of that number. The second thing is if you could give me a letter between A to G in the alphabet, that would be great. So let's do the number and then let's do the letter. And while I'm waiting for the number and letter from the chat, I'll keep going over here and I'll rename this particular thing. Cool. And great. And maybe instead of intro over there, we'll put the intro there. Now what I usually like to do once I have like this idea is I actually try to think of oftentimes the chorus first. And when I'm thinking of a song specifically, instead of starting with things like bass or drums, those kinds of things, I usually either start with chords or melody. And that's something that you can see over here from this template that I have. I have a piano loaded up. It's just a random electric piano that I have in Live. EP Faceplant. It's probably one of my favorite simple, very, very basic piano presets. And this is purposefully chosen. Like, I don't necessarily want a preset that's like super extravagant in a way, because I just want to sketch out ideas for the song. Like I want to focus on the content of the song rather than the actual sounds first, because we're doing the writing and then we'll do the other stuff later. Cool. Thanks so much, everyone, for the letters and the numbers. Okay, cool. We'll take Live Society's 64, but let's actually duplicate that. So let's do 128. I'm going to change the tempo of Live from push. Let's do 128. And then we'll take the first letter that came out as well. Max 343. Yeah, let's do Matt's suggestion of C sharp. So today, let's write in C sharp minor. I'm going to change the scale to... okay, cool. Let's maybe not do C sharp. Let's not do C sharp minor. Let's do C sharp minor / major, and I'll tell you what I mean in a moment. One thing that I like about push a lot is... Where's my C sharp? There we go, D flat. One thing that I like about push a lot is that it's an interesting instrument, right? It's laid out in a pretty not abnormal but atypical way for a type of instrument. Usually when we think of melodic instruments or instruments that play chords, you think of something like maybe a guitar or something like a piano, where there's a very specific structure that you're looking out for, and that's always the same. Like whenever you pick up a guitar, like my guitar over there, it's going to be the same chords that you have. It's going to be the same, if you want a minor chord, generally there's a shape and a structure to it. Same thing on a piano. Whenever you look at a piano, you're not going to have suddenly random notes that are, like going away. But on push, we have something that's called an isometric layout. So this means that if I wanted to play a major chord on push, not even a C major chord, but a major chord, I'm playing the same shape and I'm just moving my hand across different parts of the layout, and it's going to be the exact same chord that I'm playing, which is pretty nice. To that end, you can also change the way that the pads are lit up on push. The way I currently have push laid out is in something that's called chromatic mode. So that means if I wanted to, I could play every single note in between the scales that I have. I can also be in key mode, which is going to collapse everything. So now I'm playing some kind of major scale. And I could change this if I wanted to harmonic major, which is pretty cool. I could also change it to minor, which I do often. I feel like a lot of people do songs in minor. But for today, we'll stick in major, and I'll put us into chromatic mode because I like to do a little bit of stuff that involves modal interchange. Now, what does that mean? Modal interchange, without going too in-depth and nerding out, is the idea of mixing different kinds of scales together and having them kind of combine and form some kind of chord progression. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to turn on the metronome from Push. And I'm also going to head over into Live and loop this particular section over here that I've labeled chorus. Let's also take a listen to it. Cool. So I've got this loop going. Maybe I can think of some kinds of chords. So let's figure something out. Cool. So let's do that. What I like to do is first record this chord progression and then figure out some ways that we can start writing over it even. So cool. Awesome. Let's have a go at this. Let's record. Cool. And you'll notice that I did make mistakes there, which is great. But it also means that I can continue to work on some ideas. So I'm going to do this. And this was I do think this was the chord progression that I had. Did I? Was it? Yes. Cool. And I also think I may have missed out on one section, but that's all right. What I want to do over here is tidy some things up. So what I had in mind when I was thinking of this was basically C major, a 1, flat 7, flat 6, and 5 minor. And again, we're not going super in depth for theory, so totally cool if that doesn't make sense at the moment. But I do want to quantize these, and I do want to actually make a copy of that. And shift this back up to, I believe it was that. So let's see what we got now. Let's also make things legato so that they're stretched into one another. Great. Cool. So this is an example of, a really quick way of doing a chord progression on Push. And you can kind of like move shapes around, change the way things sound. I'm going to pop over into the chat, see if anyone had anything. Oops. Ooh, hi, greetings to Regine. Hello. Thanks for joining in, Regine. And hello, Bread. You did not miss the giveaway. We are still having the giveaway, so if you check out the information below, you should be able to have info about the giveaway. Who else is here? Oh, Michael. Hello, greetings. Oh, TWD. Congratulations. I hope you enjoy your burrito. I know I would like a burrito. Let's see. Lisa had a question. In what interval are the chords on Push? They're pretty much in any interval that you want. You have access to every single note. It's just a matter of finding out the shapes that you want to play. So for example, if I put my hand in this shape, that's a minor chord, and I can then bring this shape everywhere across Push, and it's going to be the same minor chord. So that's what I meant just now by having an isometric layout. But a little bit enough of nerdery, maybe. We'll see. So maybe now we can kind of like change things up a little bit, right? Maybe I don't even want this to be this slow. Let's make it faster. What I just did in Live was click on the half-time button that you can see in the Notes menu underneath the MIDI note editor. And that makes this twice as fast. So I kind of like this. I do want to edit it a tiny bit though, because I want to add in some anticipations. So this means that the chord change is not going to be directly on the bar, but it's going to be a little bit ahead for a couple of these notes. So here we go. Cool. Great part about this also is that if I wanted to, I could overdub some notes onto it. So maybe I do want to add notes. And maybe they should be sevenths. I don't know. Cool. Cool. So that's going to be our chord progression. Thank you everyone who provided the useful information about the key and the tempo. I think this is pretty neat. So what I usually do from here is I try to do a little bit of housekeeping. So I'm going to rename this track chords just so that I know that I'm dealing with chords. And I'm also going to work on the entire chorus, quote unquote chorus section. So now that I've got these chords, it's time to add in a couple of the other components, right? So let's add in some melody. And actually, I'm not going to add a new MIDI track, but I'm going to just use my faceplant patch again. I think someone was saying that this was also their favorite patch. Yay! So what I usually do is I select the track content and delete that. And instead of chords, I'm going to call this melody. And let me just pop over into the chat. Hope everyone's alive and doing okay. Ah, yeah, totally. Yay! Yeah, no problem, Michael. I love the set button too. I think it's really useful. But anyway, we've got these going. I can turn off the metronome now because I don't necessarily need it. But what I will also do before I start working on the melody is add a new track. So let's add a new track over here. And for the purpose of this stream, let's just pull up a really classic sounding drum kit. If we're doing something at 128, I'm thinking we could do a couple of different genres, but maybe house would kind of be the go-to in a way. Sure. I like this kit a lot. It's called Funky Beans. I do like beans. Great. Cool. So now you'll notice that instead of, me always having to do push stuff, I can also use stuff in live. So maybe I'll show you a little bit of live stuff. I'm going to rename this track drums, and I'm also going to recolor it brown because I generally think of drums in my head as a warm kind of color. Usually it's brown or orange or red. And you can create a new MIDI clip in arrangement view by double clicking. And if you want to extend that clip and have it be, say, something that's 16 bars, you can highlight a section of time and press Control J or Command J to consolidate that. And it's going to have the whole clip up. So now we have like a full clip of all of these. And we also see that we're currently in the MIDI note editor and we have a quarter note divisions. So if we pull up the draw mode, which is B, on your computer keyboard, you're going to be able to put in some kicks really quickly. Boom. Cool. Let's add a new track to this. I'm also going to decrease the volume just a tiny bit because we'll start adding more things and then we'll want to hear ourselves. Maybe we'll want to hear ourselves. So I'm going to show you a technique that I use a lot for chords, for getting melody and bass out of chords. And sometimes not even just melody that's sung, but just melodic motifs out of a set of chords. What I'm going to do first, though, is create a new MIDI track. And this one's going to be bass. So let's color it blue, because bass is blue. And honestly, if you have a different idea of what the color is, that's totally cool also. But yeah, if this is a housey type of thing, maybe we're looking for a house bass. I wonder what would happen if we typed in house into the browser and looked for certain presets. Maybe that'll come up. And we're looking for bass. Oh no, Live is freaking out. That's all right. I'll drink some tea. And wow, live is taking its time. That's okay. Oh, and yay, great. So every time I threaten live, sometimes it ends up being nice to me. So cool. Let's pull up that preset. Let's just use this. Very simple. Now, one way that we can take out bass lines is by something that I call extraction. What does this mean? It means that we have this chord progression existing, nice. And that means that essentially we have the solid foundation of the harmonic content that we need. So what I'm going to do is hold down the Option key or the Alt key if I were on a PC. I'm going to click and drag this clip over into the bass track. Now I'm going to remove everything except the lowest note of each chord. So I can select all of these things, remove them, bye-bye, have them go away. And now let's solo this and let's take a listen. So kind of nice, but bass parts are low. So let's drop it down a couple octaves. And there we go. Consolidate that. And maybe we're also looking for something that's more rhythmic than this. So here's something that I like to do quite often also. I'll shorten clips sometimes, and I'll just duplicate them by holding down Option and dragging them to where I want them to be. Then I can also make them a little bit shorter. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll make these ones in particular shorter, just so we can hear them. So you can kind of hear different kinds of melodies erupting. Let's unsolo that. And like I said, we can, if we want to, overdub something, right? So let's play back. Cool. Let's overdub some extra notes into this bass line. Exit that, consolidate that, quantize. Cool. So we got our drums and our bass, and maybe we can add on some other types of sounds. Give me 1 second. I'm also going to just check my buffer size in Live. Check, check, check. Cool. Maybe that'll be a little bit better. We saw a little bit of strange activity, but that's all right. Let's see what we can do here. I'm also going to move that over there. Great. So, oops. So now, when we're flying around in Live, sometimes you may move quickly, but that's okay. Cool. So now that we've extracted the bass, let's extract some melody. So let's hold down Option. And now you know the drill. Drag over here. For the melody instead, though, maybe what we want to do is create a little bit of variation. So instead of leaving the bottommost notes, let's leave the higher notes and see what we get. So let's also just, okay, got it. And with the melody, what we want to do is, find something that's a little bit smoother. Usually when we think of melodies that are catchy or think of melodies that are, oftentimes in pop songs, you kind of don't think of them moving around too much, which is not necessarily bad, but in a way it's interesting to consider because it ends up being a lot easier for us to write stuff, right? So let's head back over here. We're not disillusioned at all. Just something that I've noticed after writing for a lot of other folks as well. I write it a lot for I do a bunch of ghostwriting as well as collaborative writing with other folks. So let's see what we got over here. And I want to listen just to my melody track and, maybe take out some other notes that are less essential. Cool, okay. Maybe. cool. I think I like that better. So this is kind of going to be like the core of our melody. Whoops. One step short. No problem. Cool. And then instead of what we do here, we want to create a little bit of variation. So let's see. So maybe in this case, let's pull over a different preset. And let's find something. Or actually, when I had typed in house just now, I think there was another preset that I, oh goodness, my refrigerator just started humming. No problem. Should sample that. I have actually sampled it before. You can hear it in one of my other songs. And there's my refrigerator. It's an instrument. It's totally a sampled instrument. While I'm waiting for Live to do its thing and to look for the presets. Oh, see, every time I say that, it comes back. Oh no, now it's gone again. I like the spinning beach ball of doom. It's like round and round and round. And that just inspired me. This song that we're going to write is going to be called Round and Round, because I was talking about the spinning beach ball of doom. So then, here's a neat tip also. I'm just going to put this, before I do this, I'll show you the neat tip first. So one thing that people forget about, I think a lot, is that at the bottom left-hand corner of Live, there's a really wonderful section that's called Info View. So here's a tip. A doll tip, if you will. Anytime you want to leave yourself a note, you can right-click on any track, and you can select an option that's called Edit Info Text. What this is going to let you do is it's going to let you change the information that you see in Info View for that. So what I just clicked on was the track called Melody. And now if you look at the bottom left-hand corner of Live, it's telling me, okay, I can leave myself some notes. So I'm going to leave myself some notes for the lyrics for the song. I'm going to type in round and round, because that was the inspiration that I had from the spinning beach ball. And I think it also speaks pretty nicely to the to this particular melodic motif that we have over here. It's oscillating a little bit. And in fact, it looks a little bit like a sine wave if you zoom out. It's kind of like going up and down again. But we just need to come up with some rhythm for this, right? So we know the track's going to be called Round and Round. Or we know at least the theme of it is going to be something like circulatory. So let's just make sure we've consolidated this clip, because I just want to be working on it. Don't want to be working on other don't want to be working. I had a random thought for a lyric. Sometimes I get these like strange brain fart moments where I think of things. Just like take a minute to absorb that in, multitask a tiny bit. But yeah, I just want to be focusing on this particular 4 bars at the moment. So let's make these shorter. I also want to check out where they appear on push, because maybe that'll help me a little bit too. Cool. Let's overdub some stuff. I'm gonna put this away here, because it's gonna kind of be like a reference thing. Oh, whoops. Let's actually make a duplicate of it. So Command D. We're gonna overdub. We're gonna record over. So we're not gonna overdub, but we're gonna. Cool. So let's start recording some of this. Cool, and that's gonna be our melody. That's kind of it. Whoops. Cool. Looks like I accidentally recorded over that. No problem. And quantize. So now that we have that, let's see how this house lead patch sounds, the one that I was looking for in the browser, and Live kept giving me the spinning beach ball. So maybe it's all, in good, let's see. Oh gosh, okay, not what I was expecting, but that's all right. Let's see if it sounds better in an octave higher. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't, which is all right too. That's all right. Cool. Maybe we'll leave it as that for now. But great. So what I want to do now is temporarily put that away, but I want to keep working on my drums. And I'm also going to spruce this up a little bit by adding an audio effect that's new in Live 10 that's called drum bus. So what I'm doing now is over in the browser, I'm going to look for drum bus and show you a couple of things of it. Before I put it on though, let's see if we can flesh out this a little bit more. So right now I've got my drums, very simple kick and clap. Let's make this a little louder. And let's add some other stuff in. Let's go into draw mode and put in some hi-hats. I also want to make sure I'm in 16ths. Here we go. Draw those across. Cool. Also make them a little lower in velocity. Cool. Duplicate those across. Duplicate that too. Ooh, wow, Tom. I thought it was a tambourine. Goodness. We also want to make sure that these are gone. So you kind of see me like working a little bit on, different elements at a time. And this is generally what I do when I'm writing stuff. I'll do the chords and the melody / harmonic parts first, and then from there extract everything that I need to be extracted. So it's funny, people when I say the word extract, they often think of like, for some reason, someone once thought it was like very scientific. I was like, it's not super scientific, but it is very pattern based, if anything. It's kind of, based on, okay, let's come up with one thing and let's derive everything else from it. So it ends up being pretty efficient. And if anyone's asking, curious about, maybe someone's asking, I'm going to head over into the chat for a second. Let's see. Ooh. Hi, everyone who just joined. Hi, Dave. Greetings. Yes, edit info text. Interesting. Wait, I'm going to scroll up. Goodness. Ooh. Hi, everyone. Sorry, it's been a while. I need to move up. Goodness. Sorry. Lino, for the chords, how I made them faster. So in the lower left-hand corner of Live, next to the info text box, every time you open up a MIDI clip, there's going to be a clip box, and then there's another box that says notes. And a couple of those controls are really good for either doubling the length of chords or having them and making them faster. Matt. Oh, Scott had a question. Why record into arrangement versus session view? So Scott, if you tuned in at the beginning, you might have, I'm not sure if you did, but you might have missed that. I'm saying today we're specifically working in session view to see what we can get out of it if, say, we wanted to do a more linear-like arrangement. And yeah, totally, Max. Thanks for that point too. If you missed something, you can always scroll back, everyone. We do have the rewinding stuff enabled, so you can like go back to there. And yeah, no problem, Scott. You're most welcome about the bass note shortening doubling. Also, my name is Claire. It's Claire. Maybe that was a typo. But TWD had a question. When working outside of a demo setting, what would you say is your workflow split between hands-on push and hands-on mouse? When working outside of a demo setting. Great question, TWD. It's either hands-on push or actually hands-on keyboard. So I'm a classically trained pianist and flute player, and sometimes I honestly just, when I'm playing either of those or practicing, I think of melodies. Like, for example, I have another song that I did called Skylight that was also off my recent album that I came up with when I was playing the flute. And so it really differs from time to time. So yeah, that's a that's a good question. I think it kind of runs the gamut a little bit. And yeah, totally. If you still want to enter the giveaway, please go ahead and enter the giveaway. If you still want to enter the giveaway, that just totally made random sense. Regine, what brand are you using for Push machine? So Push is created by Ableton. So there's only Push that's only created by Ableton, the company. So yeah, it's by Ableton. This is Push 2. So it's the second model of Push. Latino Sofrito said, is this Live 10? Yes, it is Live 10. Totally. Oh, that's very kind of you. Yay, thank you so much. I hope I'll dance to this too. Maybe if I eventually release the song, then you'll know what we did over here. So there's that too. Yeah, so I think we also had a couple of let's see. Cool. How did I accent my hi-hat so quickly? So I wasn't actually accenting them, but what I was doing is selecting all of them and then changing their velocities to give them a little bit of differences. So now we got this, right? And that hi-hat, that open hi-hat, is not nice. Cool. Cool. So what I was doing was just tidying up a few of the velocities for my drums. But at this stage, now I'm finally ready to show you drum bus. So drum bus is something that's new in Live 10, everyone. And it's a very special kind of audio effect. It combines several things, including things like transient shaping and compression, as well as a couple of interesting, other spectral shaping capabilities. So let's take a look at what this can do. I'm going to exaggerate this just so you can hear. But let's turn drum bus off first. And let's make the drums a little louder. So this is with drum bus off. Halfway through, I'm going to turn drum bus on, and you might be able to hear it. We'll see. Off and on. Here we go. So maybe you've heard that I just like abruptly turned that up. But this is cool. Drum bus lets you tune your drums and, like I said, shape them in various ways. What I'm going to do now is tune it to the key. So just now Matt had our suggestion, which was, the key of C sharp. And we're kind of doing like a mix between major and minor. But let's change this a little bit. So what I want to do is tune my drums to C sharp. And I can do this from drum bus by changing the resonant frequency, the boom frequency, and also changing the percentage of it. So I don't actually want a super long decay on my drums. Decay is a control that you'll find on drum bus, but I want something a little bit shorter. So let's click on this, and instead of 100%, let's maybe make it 50%. And for my boom, I'll also, add a little bit to taste. Let's take a listen and adjust accordingly. Let's also compress this a bit. Cool. And you know what? This hi-hat, as much as it is, very aggressive and punchy, maybe I don't want it to be. So let's head over into device view. I'm going to press Shift-Tab on my computer keyboard. That's going to take me to look at the actual drum rack itself. And let's see if we can replace this open hi-hat. We can do this by hot swapping a sound. So that means we can click on the little, circular button that you see when you're hovering over a certain drum cell. And let's swap that out. So let's find another hi-hat that we like, one that's maybe a little bit more tame. And in my mind, I'm thinking of specifically, I think an 808 hi-hat might be cool. So now we're combining different kinds of kits. We're combining an open hi-hat with this. Yeah, let's do that. So let's swap it out. Great. A little better. Cool. So we got that going. Great. So now we got all these different parts. We got our drums. We got our bass. Let's compress the bass a little bit, just because we can. Let's head over to audio effects, and let's bring up a compressor. Here we go. I forgot about our melody that had the strange patch on it. So bass is generally like quite a lot of compression. I'm also going to adjust the attack a little bit. And maybe instead of this, the strange lead that I had just now for my melody, we can start putting in some... Oh, I do know that we're running out of time. I'm going to try to do this as quickly as I can, everyone. Maybe walk you through a bunch of different things. So let's do this very quickly. Let's head over to sounds. We'll look at mallets. Let's put on something nice that we can put on here. Maybe that'll sound nice for the melody? Maybe? Shift that up an octave. Reverb it. Cool. Cool. So what I'm going to do now is a lot of quick work for when I think about, building up synth parts and building up mid-rangey type things. I'm going to do a few things. One thing is for the chords, I will keep them as it is. I'm going to rename this electric piano, E-piano. But what I'm also going to do is add some kind of arpeggiator to this. So let's head over into the MIDI effects and let's grab an arpeggiator and listen to this. Oops, there we go. And swap out the sound of that also. So lots of really quick stuff. Like usually when I'm doing this, I don't like explain it to people. I just like kind of do it. But just want to make sure we're all on the same page. If you're lost, anyone, just let me know in the chat and I'll get back to you like in a super quick second, as fast as I can after I figure this out. But what I wanted to put on is maybe some kind of interesting vintage sound, perhaps. This string thing is interesting to me, so let's see how that sounds. Oh, that's cute. Let's bring this up an octave though. Let's also add a secondary arp. This time with more attack. So let's use some kind of mallet. And let's find something under mallets. And after this, I'll head back over into the chat to see if we have any questions. maybe we'll continue this next week. It might be cool to continue working on this. But knowing me, like I'll be super tempted and I'll like work on it. So we could even like start something new next week. Try that. And the cool thing about this though is that we can change the octaves. Whoops. So let's bring this down an octave, see how this sounds. Interesting. Let's try that instead. Don't be afraid to switch sounds out. Cool. So we got all these bunches of layers hanging out. Cool. I'm going to head back over into the chat very quickly to see what's happening. Let's see. Yeah, totally. Giveaway. Yeah, please continue to enter the giveaway. Doo-doo-doo. And let's see what we got. Yeah, kick tuning. Yay, kick tuning. Very cool stuff. Yeah, totally. Actually, that's a really good point, Latino Sofrito. Drum, it does remind me of the SSKL stuff. There's a lot of really great tuning stuff out there, actually. But I think a great part to do stuff is to use your ears too, as well. So there's that. Latino Sofrito had a question. Do you do Ableton producer certification? I'm not sure if that's a question for 343 or it's for me. But I'm an Ableton Certified Trainer. That said, the certification process is through Ableton, the company. So it's not like anywhere else. Like you can get a certificate in knowing live, I guess, from a course. But being an Ableton Certified Trainer is not the same as that. Max and I are Ableton Certified Trainers. So Max is also a CT. And we have two other CTs at 343, Adam and Josh. So there was a bunch of us hanging out. I think we have I'm not sure if Max is still there. Maybe we have the highest per capita. I don't know if that's the case. But yeah, Regine, no problem at all. Thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Just gonna keep going down. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of different, Latina Sofrito, to your point of like Machine. I use Machine too, and I think it really is different for a lot of like workflow-based types of things. But to that end, let's see how much we can do in the next, in the next 3 minutes before I do the giveaway stuff. First of all, maybe I'll just show you another tip. Recoloring. If you select any track in Live and you right-click on it, you can make it a certain color, which is cool to be able to do. So maybe if my ARPs are feeling a little bit like pink, I'll make them pink. But the other neat tip is that you, in Live 10 onwards, and this is only from Live 10 onwards, you can assign a track color to a clip. So this means you won't have to individually recolor these clips that are hanging out in these tracks for ARP and ARP Mallet. But if I wanted them to take the pink also, I can select the tracks, right-click or control-click on them, and say assign track color to clips, and boom, they will be pink also. Yay. Generally for my melody, I think of it as green, so let's do the same thing with that. Assign track color to clips. Yay. Great. So now I have all these bunch of layers. Let's also duplicate those drums over here. And for this, cool. So let's see what I got. Not a lot, but that's no problem. Writing takes time. But yeah, so generally everyone, just to walk you through an idea of my process, what I would generally do after I, made a really, really big chorus and after I recorded some demo vocals in, would be to then basically take this entire chunk of the chorus and duplicate it across every single section. This way I can start taking out parts that I don't need. So for example, let's not build an entire chorus, entire song, but let's build just like a pre-chorus and a verse. So maybe for the verse, we won't have any, maybe for the verse and the pre-chorus, we won't have any bass. Maybe we will have some other parts though. And maybe this ARP thing will only come in at the front parts. And then we can even start, working on our different drums in a way, muting different parts, taking out different structures. So let's take out the hat over here and the closed hat. Oops, looks like I did the wrong thing. No problem. Always can change stuff around, which is neat. And that's always one of my favorite features about Live, being able to do that. And maybe for this part, we don't want any claps. We just want the kick. And for this next part, we just want the kick without any tambourine. So we start having some kind of basic structure, which is cool. And then we will have just the melody come in later. But now you've got a verse already. Without that. so on and so forth. And you can continue writing. This went by so quickly, everyone. Goodness. I think it's also because I spent a lot of time chatting with y'all, but I love that. I love saying hi to people. You'll notice that one thing that I just did as I was talking to you even was add some kind of panning. So now these higher mallets are, if I solo them, they're probably going to go between our ears. But cool. This is kind of the start, right? It's the start of our song that we're writing linearly together. So now it's time for the giveaway. So everyone, if you could do a quick drum roll, please. Drum roll. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Drum roll. La 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 la. Cool. I've got the winner. Thank you, Thomas. Got it. Cool. So before I do announce the winner for the giveaway, please do remember to tune in again next week, everyone, and also even tomorrow. We have streams every day at 1 p.m. Eastern Time on the 343 Labs YouTube channel. So make sure you subscribe if you want to be notified. And also, we do have an immersive course on live that's starting on July 6th. So that's going to be something that you can sign up for at 343 Labs. Drum roll. And now the winner for today is... Oh, wait, where's my... No. This is like the perfect opportunity for this, everyone. I'm going to show you exactly why. Oh, no. I need to solo this. Ah! Cool. The winner is... Edgar Moreno. Congratulations to Edgar for winning. You have won the $200 Ableton voucher. Yay! And now we can clap. Where's the claps? No. There's the claps. We can clap for Edgar. But yeah, thanks so much everyone for tuning in. Congratulations again to Edgar for winning. And we appreciate all of you tuning in as well. So thank you so much for watching. And yeah, yay, cool. Thanks everyone. Hope you learned something. I know we didn't get to finish our song, but I really loved sharing a bunch of the tips and tricks that I had up my dolltr sleeves with you when I'm working in a linear view. And as you can see, it's very different from a lot of the other things that we try, that I personally try to do in my other streams. I do stream on the regular, and you can find me at dolltr on social media platforms. But yeah, once again, if you do want to check out 343 Labs, please head over to our website. We're 343labs.com. And we also have lots of free events at 343labs.com/events. And also we have 343 TV. So make sure you tune in tomorrow and check out Mr. John Selway, who's going to be broadcasting some techno. And as we say goodbye and as we leave, this next song that I'm going to play in the outro is one that's a little bit of a lesser known dolltr thing, also from my dolltr project. But this is a song that also kind of has the verse and chorus structure in a way. It's called Innocent Intentions. It was from my very first EP that I released, I think, quite some time ago, but I wrote this song pretty long ago as well. So this is going to be nostalgic for me and perhaps revelatory to some of you who maybe haven't heard of my music before. But no, I'm Claire. This has been very fun sharing with all of you. You can also find me as dolltr everywhere. You can find 343 Labs as 343 Labs everywhere too. Big shout out to Thomas for managing the chat as well. And thanks, Max, for tuning in all the way from Berlin, and everyone else for tuning everywhere from around the world also. We will see you again tomorrow. I will personally see you next Monday. But yeah, see you soon and have a beautiful day, everyone. Bye.
My intentions are innocent. Don't know if they're any good. Keep thinking that you haven't sent. Don't know why your love's so cruel. Spending time on wistful mornings, wishing I could make things right. In the end, we just keep falling into pieces, losing out on sleep at night. Is it too much to ask for fairy tales? Is it too blind to ask for fate? But baby, my intentions are innocent. Don't know if they're any good. Keep thinking that you haven't sent. Don't know why your love's so cruel. My intentions are innocent. Don't know if they're gonna change. Still wanna keep my promises, but I'll be the one to blame. My intentions are innocent. Keep thinking that you haven't sent. Is it too much to ask for fairy tales? Is it too blind to ask for faith? Somehow my hopes fly high and insecure. Somehow my spirit hides away. But baby, my intentions are innocent. Don't know if they're any good. Keep thinking that you haven't sent. Don't know why your love's so cruel. My intentions are innocent. Don't know if they're gonna change. Still wanna keep my promises, but I'll be the one to blame. The My intentions are innocent. Don't know if they're gonna change. Still wanna keep my promises, but I know my heart you'll break.
Well,